Hey everyone, welcome to Uncovering the Litanies. I'm your host Luke Evans, and today I'm going to teach you a new way to pray called Lectio Divina. Spoiler alert, this is not actually a new way to pray, even though I told you that it was. It was made by Saint Benedict of Nursia in the 6th century, so many a year ago, but it might be new to you, so I'm going to teach you what Lectio Divina is and how you pray it. So Lectio Divina is Latin. Lectio means reading, and Divina means divine. Thus, Lectio Divina means reading divine. Just kidding. It means divine reading. So what is Lectio Divina, and how do you pray it? So Lectio Divina is a way to pray with the Bible, with the scriptures, to talk to God while reading the Bible, praying His Word. So you might be thinking, how long is Lectio Divina? Well, it differs depending on who you are. Typically, normal Lectio Divina, just to start, is 10 to 20 minutes. A lot of times with prayer, you start out with a small, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 15, and then, I prayed 5 minutes this week. Maybe I'll push it. Maybe I'll pray 10 minutes next week. You don't want to just push it. I'm just going to pray 2 hours today, because that's, maybe you are the kind of person who prays 2 hours a day, but for most people that is not manageable and not realistic. Your mind is just going to drift, and that is not good when you're in prayer mode. You want to have a manageable amount of time that your attention span will last, and you can actually pray for that long. So maybe just start out 10 to 15 minutes, then you can start pushing it little by little as you get more experience with Lectio Divina. So take a short passage of scripture and read it. Or first start with the sign of the cross. You're in prayer, so whenever you begin with any prayer, of any sort, begin with the sign of the cross. This helps you, clear your mind of whatever's in there and tells you that you are in prayer mode. Okay, so take a short passage of scripture and read it. This usually helps. It usually helps to start out with a scripture you already know, or have the general gist of what's going to happen, not just a random I open the Bible, here it is. Some examples of good Lectio Divina passages are the Martha and Mary story, which is Luke 10, and I can put the exact passage numbers in the description, so you don't have to remember all of this. But Luke 10, 38 to 42. There's the Loaves and Fishes, which is also a really good one. Matthew 14, 13 to 21. Mary Magdalene story, which is John 8, 2 to 11. And I'll put a few more down in the description. So look there and pick which one you want to start on. And later on, you can pick a random one. What sometimes helps me is just, look up what are some good Lectio Divina passages and see which one I want to do. But yeah, so first you can read it once. So just take the passage. It should just be a short, not a long chapter or anything, just a short, quick thing, like those ones that I've mentioned earlier. So read it once, and then read it twice, so you can comprehend it. And then the third time, before you read it, think of think in your head, I'm going to find a word or a phrase or something. What word or phrase comes to my mind when I read this? And then read it and think and meditate on what word, phrase, or image or something, idea came to your mind when you read it. What is something that stood out to me? Now close your eyes and think, what is this thing that stood out to me? Now, this period of time is really easy to fall asleep, so try not to fall asleep because you are in prayer mode, remember. So this time, after you found what word or phrase stood out to you, you can either take a piece of paper and write down, or you can just pray and think if you're not a big writer. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just think, what is God trying to tell me through this word or phrase? Why did this one word or phrase stand out to me rather than all the other words in the scripture passage? Because if you had a whole group of people doing this passage in Lectio Divina, they probably all would pick something different. Not all the exact same. So, different things stand out to different people. God is telling different people different things. Okay, so after you do this, it's time to thank God for this time, for this scripture that he gave you, of the Bible. And I know some people who are just like, they pick the word and okay, we're done. And it's like, no, you picked the word. What's the purpose of just picking the word and then going, I'm done? You need to think, why did this word or phrase come to my mind? That's a big part in Lectio Divina because it helps you talk to God, and that's the whole point of Lectio Divina. So then after you're done, end with the sign of the cross because you are ending prayer mode. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode on Sunday. Remember to subscribe, follow, share with your family and friends, and rate our podcast and if you liked it. This is Uncovering the Litanies. I'm your host, Luke Evans. God bless.